Bonnie.
Dawn,
Oh my
welcome to my
goodness.
house.
Welcome to week 21. And I just want people who are watching this to realize that the topic of today is money management. And when you really take good care of the money you make and honor the money you make, then you can have nice homes like Bonnie and I have, right?
Matching homes. Or you could just put a virtual background on and it works.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. We have
Yes.
too much fun. We have too much fun.
Yes. So, Bonnie, today's topic is money management. And the person who I feel when I was growing up in Mary Kay, I was taught by Kaylee Castagna, who, God rest her soul, is no longer with us. And she had an accounting background, and that woman tracked every penny that she made. And so, the things that we're going to be talking about today, I know Kaylee's going to be watching us going, mm-hmm. And you grew up with Phyllis Pinsker, and Phyllis would always say, if you have a money problem, what?
Go make more.
And
Go sell something.
unlike if you work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, if you have a money need, it's not like you can go to your boss and say, I need money. So in Mary Kay, you can work as much as you want. And the things we talk about, there's ways of tracking that and things like that. But I kind of this is fun. But the first thing I think we should mention is one of the things that the company has done, especially for brand new consultants, is they have an app and they have a program called Great Starts. And Great Starts gives a new consultant bonuses in actually 3 different ways. It gives them bonuses on their first initial inventory order, their after their inventory order, their sales for the first 4 months that they're in business, and every time they recruit active team members. And Bonnie, what does earning Great Starts bundles, what does that do for a new consultant?
Well, so when you are initially a brand new consultant, you have the opportunity to earn not only fabulous bundles with your first orders, those are great value bundles. Wow. So when your first order is a great size, you earn lots of free products. You also, when you order in your first 15 days, you are able to get the color look free. The Ready Set Keep selling allows you to keep tracking in $600 increments that you get more free product. And when you have a Great Start qualified team member, so you have a new team member and she ends up doing at least 600 in her first 4 months, you earn 2 bundles for that. So there are all these free bundles that you can get. So it gives you the opportunity to maybe take out some products and use them if you don't have a lot of products to use, but it also allows you to sell them at 100% profit.
So Bonnie, I've heard and I've seen tracking sheets that, and one of the first things we're going to talk about is a profit level inventory. And a profit level inventory can be different amounts for different people. For some people, profit inventory might be 2,400, some could be 3,600, some could be 4,000. It just depends upon how many customers you are servicing, and then how much you're using customer delivery to filter in and stuff like that. But there are ways of actually earning up to, I think, $1,800 retail in product, which means if you sell that, you could pay for your inventory. So you are actually then not out of pocket any money. So Mary Kay has just been great on that. And I do think it's important, Bonnie, because when you first start, a lot of times you're not using all the products yourself. You don't have any products to sell. And let's talk about, I think there are about 5 or 6 reasons why you'd want to have inventory, Bonnie. And what are some of them? And I'm going to check them off as you mentioned that. What are some of why is it good to have inventory?
Well, one, it is a great time management because if you do an appointment and you can send her home with all the products that you just sold her,
okay,
bonus, you don't have to backtrack. So it is a great time management tip or tool. Number two is what about, okay, it's, we're talking skincare, like take care of your skin.
Yep.
And then if we don't have inventory on hand, sometimes you have to go, it'll be here in about 4 days or 5 days, or I'll have it
Yep.
to you next week. So I think especially skincare is really important to keep on hand because you can deliver it right away
Yep.
and get them using it and they become a better customer.
Yes.
What would be another good tip to have inventory? Well, you feel like you're in business. You don't,
Yep.
there's just a feeling when you have inventory to
Yep.
work with.
Yep.
It's just a feeling, but you feel like you have a story. You feel like you are in business. And whether you start with inventory or without inventory, a little bit, a lot, it doesn't matter. It's a personal decision.
Correct.
But
Correct.
eventually you're going to want to have mascaras on hand. You're going to want to have cleanser and moisturizers on hand. You're going to want to have products that you can confidently, when somebody tells you they need something, you're not going to go,
Bonnie, do you remember what you started with?
I started with 600 and I thought a dump truck was going to come and I thought a dump truck was going to come and drop it off.
I
And
remember.
it was like in a box. I mean, 2 boxes.
I remember doing, I think we had either 400s or 800s then. And I'm like, I'm not spending 800. I did 400. And then the next month I did like a 1600. And now looking back, I just would have said how much I would have foregone almost $500 retail and product. So, I mean, that would have been just not a very smart business move. But you know what? We honor where people's feelings are. And the notes I had about why inventory is good is it's on the spot delivery. It's sometimes hard to motivate yourself to sell. Like if you don't have anything on your shelf, then there's nothing like reminding you that, oh yeah, you are in sales. Your sales will be greater when you promote an entire line or all the products. You don't have to retrace your steps. And women purchase on impulse. So if you go into a store and you wear a size 8, and that dress isn't in an 8, and they say, do you want us to ship it to your house from online? Sometimes you do this. Oh, no, because the event's tonight. So, I mean, yes. So, yes.
I do want to back up though, Dawn. I did start with 600, but I did see the value of having product. And after that, I did do a star order. So it was like all of a sudden it did make sense to me to why you'd want to have product on hand.
So, and Bonnie, okay, so I think there's a correlation when you do start with inventory. You said something about a star order. How many years have you been in?
I have been in Mary Kay 40.
So how many years have you been a star consultant?
Sometimes I wasn't at the beginning.
Okay.
But I have, I'm just saying, so if somebody's watching this and they're going, I've never been a star since the beginning. I wasn't a star my very first quarter or second. But eventually I was, and
yes,
I
that's
saw
what
the
I'm saying.
value
But
of
I
it.
think it's a track to run on. Yet when you have product, I think there's a correlation.
I think I have 150 stars on my ladder.
Okay, so that's only maybe of 40 years, and you've had babies in Mary Kay. So there would have been, I mean, I think I've been in 31, and I do think there might have been like maybe 1 quarter or 2 that I weren't. So, I mean, yes, I mean, I just think there's a correlation of when you have stuff on your shelf, or if you have a little payment you have to make every month to pay for that product that you have on your shelf, it does make you want to go out and sell. So, so Bonnie, it does talk about when you are new in business that you keep your finances separate than your personal. So they recommend going and opening up a bank account to keep your money separate, and then getting a debit card so that you can use the funds accordingly. And also even too, I mean, there was one time where I had a loan payment on my product, and I actually had a separate card for that. And then I just knew that I was going to break that payment into so many chunks, of maybe a year or whatever. And I kept that separate. And then I had a card that I paid my expenses on it. And that was a nice way for me just to keep my expenses separate and things like that. I was going to say something and I can't remember. And then there are times where we've had to boost our inventory as our number of customers have grown, or when we have new product, or around the holiday
Holiday.
times where you purchase holiday and then you sell through on that. So, okay. So, Bonnie, once you get to a profit level inventory, can we talk about what a 60-40 split is?
So I had mentioned earlier that whether you started with product or without product, and we talk a lot about STAR. And I know if you're a newer consultant and you're watching this and you're going, what is all the talk about STAR? I remember thinking, STAR this, STAR that, what's this, what's that? And, look it up. It'll come to you. I promise. So in case there's a little lingo going on, you're not to worry. But when you have product on your shelf, like when you have a store and we're talking about the 60-40 split. And what that means is, let's say that you sold $100. I'm going to use 100. No, I'll use 1,000. It's more fun. Let's say you sold $1,000 and you had, of course, your profit on that is half of what you sell, right? But there are expenses and there's different things or samples or different things that you do with your money. So we call it a 60-40 split. So if you sold $1,000, you would keep 400 would be your paycheck. 600 would go back into replenishing your inventory.
Yes.
A great way to keep track of that is doing your weekly accomplishment sheet every single week, because it tells you, it breaks it up, that 60-40 split on there, like what you really made and what your profit is. So I think is really a bottom line, as like shows you what you're selling. I know, and I'm just going to throw this in there. I don't know if it's the right time or wrong time, but I remember when I wanted to be really consistent with my business, and I wanted this to be my business, my paycheck. I wanted this to be my business, and I didn't want to work another job anymore. And how I became consistent on that is two things. One was I put a number that I wanted to sell on the refrigerator.
Yep.
And I subtracted every single thing I sold. So I knew that if a $500 week, I knew that I was just subtracting until it was done.
Yes.
So if I sold 100, I subtracted, it was at 400. If I sold $8 more, it was just,
Yep.
The other thing was,
can I just talk about that for a second, Bonnie? I think so.
Yes.
Sometimes we talk about our tenure in Mary Kay, but today, a STAR consultant is still $1,800 wholesale over a quarter, which equates to a $300 retail. But when we started, the basic set was it 56? And now we have skincare that's $215 for the set. So
yes,
I mean, you could do one facial and sell a repair set and a few eyeshadows, and that could be your $300 week. So I mean, yeah.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, Dawn. So yes, figure out what you want to do, something that you can grow into. And as my business grew, I increased that number. That number. So I could see that if I had $1,000 week, that I was taking home, my paycheck was 400.
Yes.
From my product sales. There's of course other ways that you can earn money too. The other thing I did was I started taking over a bill. Like I remember the first bill I took over was, I had a car at that time and I needed to pay for it. So yay, earn a car and you don't have that payment anymore. That's a real godsend. But then I took over the electric bill, and I took over different bills that I was able to feel like I really was doing it. And I could see where that profit was coming from. And you can bet if I'm responsible for a bill, a car payment and an electric bill, I'm not going to slough and take for chance that I'm going to sell $20 that week. I was going to make sure I sold product that week. Yep. So that too is a benefit of having some inventory on your shelf, because you can sell with confidence and collect that money. So
Bonnie, again, if our consultants are hearing this, a 60-40 split would be that they would take that 60% out, and that way they can pre-purchase the product that they sold, and then Of that 40%, oh, and then remember that when we purchase product from a company, we pay tax on the retail amount. So that sales tax is submitted right up front. And anything that comes out of the 40% that's left over, one, sometimes people use that, their profit, to put back into product to rebuild to build their inventory to a profit level. Otherwise, you can pay your inventory off, or that's where your expenses get paid, and or it's your profit. And I really would like to say that as you are younger or a smaller business, if you are taking product off your shelf, and let's say you're a user and you could be using, maybe $100 a month in wholesale product or more, because you could be a repair user, you could body care. You need to be paying yourself for the wholesale and the tax that you're taking off your shelf, because you're using it. So that's another way of, when people say they're not making money, you are making money because you're not paying full price for your product. So, yes.
One time I remember, when do you discover that you need things for yourself is usually in the morning when you're getting ready. And my husband was working second shift at the time, long ago. Like we maybe had 1 or 2 kids at that time. And I'd go into my little space and I'd get products. And he goes, "How much of that stuff do you use?" And I said, "You have no idea how much money I save us," because half price products, that's part of the beauty of being part of Mary Kay, is half price, but you do want to pay yourself half price plus tax for it.
Yep. So Bonnie, I think the other thing is, one of the reasons we get into Mary Kay is because there's great tax deductions. Should we go through, I'll give you a category. Can we go through them? What you can effectively write off? So under advertising, Bonnie, what goes in advertising?
Advertising would be like business cards. It would be if you do like a vendor event. What else, Dawn? Give me some hints.
Website.
Your website, yep.
And then anything that's like any hostess credits can be written off. Any demonstration products, any customer gifts that you give, any personal gifts you give. Let's say you buy birthday cards. Magazine. Remember, we used to write magazines off because we used to buy magazines because we used to watch that. We used to watch for tips and trends. I remember doing that. Yeah, I think if you do any displays, that stuff can be written off. Bonnie, what about automobile expenses? Can mileage be written off?
I'm sorry.
Can mileage
kind
be
of breaking
written off?
up, so I'm missing. Oh, mileage. Yeah, that's a good one. So make sure that, and mileage, what's important about mileage is write the beginning odometer reading and the end. So if you are going to work and you're like delivering products or taking books there or dropping things off, it really is a tax deductible trip to work. Or if you're going to a party, or if you're going to your meeting, or wherever you might be going for your business, beginning mileage, ending mileage, and how many miles you drove, obviously, and what the purpose of that was.
And Bonnie,
it's a huge deduction.
We are not we are not legal tax representatives. So I would contact your tax person, because sometimes you have to start not from your house. So I always laugh because my neighbor was in business and for himself, and he goes, "Well, I can't write my miles off from my house to Kenosha for a business appointment." I said, "Then go to the post office first." And he looked at me and I said, "Write your miles off from the post office." And he goes, and then he looked at me, and I think that's when he realized that I wasn't just like a soda cracker or something. Like I'm like, seriously? Like, go to the post office, drop a bank deposit off. I mean, yeah. But I will tell you, I mean, mileage now for me is one of the key factors because of personal situations. I go to Green Bay a lot, but I have, a new unit up there and customers up there. And, Bonnie, you too, you live in a very small town, but you're driving all the time. So, yeah. Yep.
I am.
Any bank service fees like interest or anything like that can be deducted?
Propay fees.
Yep. Oh, yes, all of that.
If you have a loan or designated credit card for your business and you paid a small interest on that, I mean, it's good to have zero.
Yep.
But if you paid any and it's truly allocated just for your Mary Kay business, nothing else on it, you can deduct the interest on that.
Yep. If you have an office chair, business things that for your office, a portion. Now, this is where it gets really like cell phone use.
Great.
You have to talk to your business person, but if you're using your cell phone for business, they used to say you just have to have a separate phone line, but people don't have phone lines anymore. You're using your business for phone for business. That can be written off. Credit card processing. My biggest thing is freight. Freight, which is order freight, postage, and customer delivery fees are, because that can all be written off. If you have product replacement insurance, that can be written off. If you have any insurance for business riders, that can be written off. Because you have a business and you get your taxes done, those expenses can be written off. All of your Section 2 supplies can be written off. Again, for meals and entertainment, you're going to want to contact your business or your tax consultant. Preferred customer program, that can be written off. If you have anything printed, you know, and think about, like, if you have a Christmas card and you put your business card or write in your letter that you're doing Mary Kay, that's advertising. You can write that off. Right? Okay.
Yes.
Promotional prizes can be written off. You know, repairs on your business things, like if you have some computer expenses, I think some of that, it used to be when we bought computers, they were so expensive that you amortize them over a few years. I'm not sure what accountant people are doing that now, but if you have like an iPad for business, that could probably be written off. Seminar, whenever you go to seminars, career conferences, workshops, that can all be, or anything that's developing your business skills. It says dues for professional organizations. If you belong to things that are able to generate leads, like we used to do Welcome Wagon, that can be written off.
Networking groups.
Yep. Travel expenses, if you are traveling for business, and that's where you really have to contact your business professional, that if you do business when you travel, what portion of that trip can be written off is based on what portion of the trip that you go to Mary Kay, or you're doing a Mary Kay. Any unit meeting fees, workshops, career breakfasts. And then let's say you give product away, or let's say you take product out for yourself, the uncollected sales tax can also be written off. Correct? Yes. Bonnie, what else do you think our consultants
You there?
Yeah. It's just a weird comment on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's from a YouTube comment. Do you think our consultants, what else would they want to know about money management? I think, okay, so talking about a weekly plan sheet, I remember where on a weekly plan sheet, you would put down if you were selling reorders, if you were selling facials, if you were selling classes. And Kaylee would always have us really look at our weekly plan, not our weekly plan sheets, our weekly accomplishment sheets. And it might be like every 6 months. And she would say, add up how many faces you saw and where your sales were. And if you're only doing reorders, then realize that you are just a service consultant. But if you actively want to engage in growing your business, you are going to want to increase the number of faces you see, either by facials or classes. And if you do that and you do it consistently, that is where you're going to see your profits really growing. And when you are seeing more faces, that's going to really equate to the number of people who might possibly join your team. And when the people join your team, that's where we're not even going to talk about the money that's made there, but you are leaving money on the table if you are not offering the career opportunity to one, people who you meet that you might be hearing need a business opportunity, or to your good customers who possibly could want to do this as well. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Bonnie, anything else we should talk about today?
I think we're breaking up. I don't know if I am or you are, but
well, all of a sudden you are very still. So is there anything else we should talk about today on money management?
no, I think, you know what? I just want to say, I am a hairstylist by trade. I'm a beauty consultant. Accounting is not my favorite thing in the world to do,
No.
although I love to have money to spend. So I'm going to just say that, you know what, go easy on yourself, learn. It's all about learning the skills. So if you didn't do your weekly accomplishment sheets, don't worry, just start doing them.
Yes.
And if you didn't do something right, don't worry, just start doing it, or ask your director, ask us for help, because are there to help you. And maybe you want to increase your income, maybe you want more money to be able to manage. You know, it's kind of hard to, God bless you, it's kind of hard to manage money that you don't have. So it's a lot more fun if you have money to manage by doing that. I will say, that's all I'm going to say about that.
That's it. But I think owning your own business, it's nice to own your own business because one, we have the benefits of, making as much as we want. And there's nothing more gratifying than, that the funds that you earned paid something for your family. It might be braces, it might be school, it might be whatever it is. But I mean, it's that sense of accomplishment that you set yourself a goal out there to do it and to achieve it. So, yes. So.
All right. Well, you know what? I was going to add, and with the help of my friend Mal, who has encouraged me, that's Phyllis's husband, but who has encouraged me to put money aside to be able to invest money. You know what? That's another whole avenue of life for you. So maybe you don't need extra money. Maybe you just want to invest some money. Maybe you don't have a retirement plan. Maybe you want to start. So, you know what? There's things that you can learn from it and do too. So anyway.
Well, Bonnie, I always think, I like to write checks out every month and I put them in two different different accounts. But I just think that my reorder business, when I do retire, is a huge income stream of, I'm not going to have to do a lot of work for that income stream that I have built. So, I mean, it's a very nice, moneymaker that, just.
It's consumable.
Exactly. So, all right, Bonnie, until next week.
All right.
So have a good evening. All right. Thank you.